The Owl and the Swan. Deep in the jungle there was a lake. A swan lived there. One day an owl saw the beautiful surroundings of the lake. He decided to stay there. Soon the owl befriended the swan. During the hot summer, the lake dried up. The owl said, "Dear friend, I'm going back to the banyan tree by the river. Do visit me." Some weeks later, the swan decided to visit the owl. After a long flight, he reached the owl's home at sunset. The owl welcomed the swan and offered him delicious dishes. The swan was tired and went to sleep on the branches of the banyan tree near the owl. At night, a merchant rested under the banyan tree. When the owl hooted, he said angrily, "Unlucky bird, I'll kill you." He drew a bow and shot an arrow at the owl. The owl ducked, but the arrow hit the swan and he died. King Cobra and the Mighty Ants. Once there was a large cobra who lived in a hole in the tree. He ate frogs, lizards, and birds' eggs. All the small creatures were afraid of him. He would hunt them at night and creep into his hole in the morning. As he grew in size, he could no longer fit into the hole and had to look for a new home. The cobra found a large hole in a banyan tree. But there was an anthill at the base of the tree. He stood there and screamed, "King Cobra wants to live here. Leave this place at once." The animals and birds nearby began to tremble with fear. But the ants were not scared. They had worked hard to build their home. In no time, they came in thousands and swarmed around the cobra, attacking him. The cobra wriggled in pain and slithered away, never to return. The Prince and the Sage. Once there was a wise and generous king who had an ill-mannered son. One day a sage visited the king. The king welcomed him and offered him a hermitage near the palace. One day the king visited the hermitage and said, "My son is ill-mannered. Please change his ways so that he may be a worthy successor to the throne." The sage took the prince for a walk in the royal gardens. The sage pointed to a small plant and said, "Taste a leaf of this plant." The prince tasted a leaf and spat it out. He said, "It's bitter. It will grow into a poisonous tree." Then he pulled out the plant and threw it away. The sage said, "The subjects of your kingdom might not want you as the king. A humble person can win the hearts of everyone." The prince thanked the sage and changed for the better. The Shivering Monkeys. Once there lived a group of unruly monkeys in the mountains. They thought no one else was so wise as they. During winter, a young monkey said, "Let's make a fire." He had seen some people lighting a fire with twigs and red balls. The monkey mistook the burning coal for red berries. He went in search of them. After a while, he returned with twigs and some huge red berries. All the monkeys gathered around him. He placed the berries under the twigs, but nothing happened. A flock of birds was watching them from a distance. One of the birds said, "How can you make fire from berries?" The young monkey said angrily, "Don't meddle in our affairs." But the bird kept on advising the monkeys. The young monkey caught the bird and smashed it against a tree. The other bird said, "It's no use offering advice to fools."
Thanks for watching. Do like, share, subscribe to Sahil Book House.